Hello Bard haters, and welcome to another fine We Hate Bards Let's Play. I'm Ben, and this is Fallout New Vegas, a game I've been meaning to do on the channel for quite a while now, and I've only recently just found an excuse. So, to kind of preface this, I wanted to say I love Fallout New Vegas. I think it's a great game. It's one of the... I'd probably say one of the better well, better, but one of even the best of the last console generation, and there were quite a few. You know, Deus Ex is pretty good, freaking Saints Row, etc. But I really like this game for various reasons I'll get into as I play. But I realized there were a couple of particular rule sets I had never actually played by before, and I'm going to give them a spin on this particular run through. So as we watch the opening cinematic, actually, you know, I'm going to skip the opening cinematic because we know we've all seen it before, having played the game several times. Or at least I'm assuming you guys have. So, there's two particular rule sets on this game I've never actually done before.
How about that?
And I figure the best way to do this is to do them both at once.
Whoa, easy there.
So,
the
first one is a Fallout New Vegas run on hardcore mode.
See what the damage is.
Because I've never, to my knowledge, played the entirety of the game through on hardcore mode. Okay, I need myself a good name. So, I hadn't really thought this through, and I had to go pick up the keyboard to even do this. Yeah, I had the keyboard set down, and I'll explain why in a second. But first, name. How about One Shot? That work? And our name's One Shot McGee. That'll work for a name. But, just to preface this also, I'm actually playing on an Xbox 360 controller. Even though I'm playing on a PC, I'm using an Xbox 360 controller. Basically because I feel like this game operates a lot more in what's around you. That is more important, generally, than necessarily what you're looking at. So, movement is going to be a much bigger key, I think, which is why I'm using the Xbox controller. I'm also going to be a female. I generally am in this, normally just for the Black Widow perk, because I think it's plus 10% damage bonus you get against male characters. Given the Legion, or the Powder Gangers in the early game, and the Legion in the late game, most characters in this game are male, so you get a lot more use out of the male-based perks. The second reason is the reason I'm choosing Black Widow rather than Confirmed Bachelor is because it has a much more frequent use in terms of the speech options, the dialogue options. And one in particular I'm sure I'll get to at some point along the way. Which one of these looks the least scary? Because I don't want to fuck around with the actual side. You know what, I'm just going to use the default. That seems good. Then as for hairstyle... Let's see, the no-nonsense, the prim and proper. I kind of like the prim and proper. Just like a very basic hairstyle. Might also actually do this now that I think about it. You know, yeah, I'm going to go with the frazzled hairstyle in this run. As for the color, what do I feel like using? There we go. A little bit of a brown. There we go. That's got more of the brownish hue that I wanted. Alright. So, that is my appearance all taken care of.
Most of it right. Stuff that mattered. Okay. No sense keeping you in bed anymore.
So, as for what I'm doing with this run, like I said, I'm going to be doing a hardcore run, which I've never beaten the game doing.
Why don't you walk down to the end of the room?
I mean, technically I have done it once. I did a speed run one time where I just did hardcore just for the sake of it. And, I mean, it only took me like an hour to beat the game using that particular rule set I was using. So I feel like a more thorough, full look at Fallout New Vegas might be in order. And I'm going to loot Doc Mitchell's house real quick, just to get some of the stuff I'm going to need. Yeah, the reason I'm doing this also is I always end up arguing with one of my friends, one of the other bards. Actually, Chris, one of the bards admins who's been on the channel a couple of times. He always argues at me that, you know, if Fallout New Vegas, if you don't play on hardcore mode, it doesn't count.
You get back all your faculties.
So I'm going to be doing a hardcore run of this game. Like I said, I've never done it. I know the game very, very well. And hopefully this will be a way of kind of making it fresh again. That, coupled with the other rule set I'm going to run, which is going to be a perma-death. So, not only do I have to be constantly eating, drinking, sleeping, and managing my ammo capacity, what I'm carrying with me, I'm also going to have to be careful not to die, because if at any point I die, this run is over. And I'm assuming I will at some point. I don't expect to actually beat the game with this rule set. I'm not saying it's impossible, I'm just saying I won't be able to do it. I'm not generally that good at these kind of things, at challenge runs and whatnot. And I believe this is the first time I've attempted a challenge run on this channel. But that's going to be the plan. That's going to be what I attempt to do, and I will see how far I can actually get using this particular rule set. How far can I get a decent ways without dying and while playing with hardcore stuff. Now, as for the build, the first thing I'm going to do, charisma to 1, intelligence to 9. Oh, one other thing I should mention out because I'm just thinking about it. My goal also is to use companions as little as possible. Because I feel like that companions generally make the game a bit too easy, and while it is fun to play using them, and while I do intend to do as many of their side quests as possible, just playing a challenge run and having like Boone and Rex go and kill everybody for you, I feel like it's cheating. I don't feel as accomplished as I would otherwise. So, now as far as the build that I'm going to be running, and that was mostly to explain why I dumped Charisma to 1, because Charisma is really only useful if you plan to use companions at all. Otherwise, it's largely kind of useless. So Intelligence goes straight up to 9, Endurance I'm putting straight up to 9 so I can have as many implants as possible, and so I can have a higher radiation resistance. Because that's another thing I think is different in hardcore mode, is it's harder to cure radiation. I'm also... How else do I want to do this? I generally take points out of agility. I generally treat that as a dump stat because... actually, how do I want to do this? You know what I'm thinking? If I put my strength to 8, and then I take... intense training at some point, that can get me to 9, and the implant will get me to 10. So I think I'm going to have 8 strength, and then I'm going to put the remaining 2 points into luck. Perception, I will leave right at a base. Because generally with 8 points in luck, when I get the implant, won't have to get it yet. 8 points in luck is really all I need. I don't find that I need agility all that much. It says it affects your movement speed. I've not noticed a difference. I've actually done side-by-side comparisons of a character with agility at 1 and a character with agility at 10. Haven't noticed any substantial change. The one thing I have noticed in terms of that, well, one, other than the massive loss of action points that you experience, which I don't generally use action points much anyway, but other than that, the only thing I've really noticed is the difference in weapon draw speed and reload speed. So that'll be a bit of an issue, but I'm not planning to do that much with guns anyway. I'm mostly going to be a melee-focused character, or I'm going to try and be a melee-focused character. Melee-focused, and then I'm going to, outside of that, I'm probably going to specialize in long range. Which I know seems like a contradiction, but the basic plan is I'm going to be sniping things from long range, and then if they get too close, I'm going to melee them. I'm not going to have much of a mid-game, really, to speak of. So, this is, I think, going to be a good start for the build. Obviously, when I get my implants, certain stats will go up. I plan to max my strength, endurance, and intelligence. My luck is going to go up to 8, probably. And then my charisma and agility will be at 1. My perception will stay right where it is. It's a run of extremes, really. So that should be interesting to watch. Anyhow.
Must be some frontal lobe damage. Well, we know.
Yeah, I get that pretty frequently. Because the thing he says is based upon your most extreme stat, which for me is almost always charisma. And since I don't start with any stats at 10, because why would you? You can just get implants. Then I don't get any of the extremely good ones. Anyway, let's do the little mini thing he wants to do here. Yep. All this stuff sounds good. The first one, yep, the first one. I'm a very simple person. I like to pick the first. Actually, I think I've explained this in the very first video we did on the channel, which was also Fallout New Vegas. I don't ever do that thing properly. I did like the first time, but I find that it's more just a waste of time than anything else to try and think it through. So, and I always end up, when I'm done, changing the stats it picks for, or the skills it picks for me anyway. There's no point in me even doing that. So, I'm going to get speech up. I'm going to get sneak up because I'm going to be using that a bit as well, and those are both because I dump charisma and agility. Those are two skills I always need to put stuff into. The other one is probably going to be lockpick. I'm going to say just because lockpick is important to get up early, because you get a plus 15 to that. Barter is generally useless. I almost certainly will not be using energy weapons during this, at least not much. I generally don't. Explosives I might use, but probably not because they're heavy. Guns are going to be the main thing I use, which admittedly means I might want to actually just do this. Yeah, I'm thinking I might just go for a very balanced build, just from the get-go. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take Good-Natured, because I usually always take Good-Natured. You gain plus 5 to, those 5 non-violent skills, which, except for Barter, are all fairly important. I don't generally use Barter, but even then, Barter can be fairly useful, so having a plus 5 to a skill I generally don't increase anyway can be over time it helps. Medicine, repair, science, speech, I use all those skills fairly frequently. And then as for the weapons, you normally don't specialize in more than 3 weapons, and I probably won't be specializing in more than 2. So the redistribution is worth it. As for the other skill I'm going to take, in case you haven't figured it out yet, I'm going to take skilled, because the plus 5 points to every single skill, unless you're doing like a really, really long level up to level 50 game, and even then you can still do it, you don't generally notice much of a difference. Like, if you just play the vanilla game and just try to do, a lot of the quests and just play it the way you're supposed to, you generally don't lose more than a level, which is, given how many skills you have, that's only about, I think, 20 skill points you lose, and you gain from this skill just by taking it, you gain about 100 extra skill points. So on balance, it's worth it. Other than you occasionally miss out on a perk, and you lose out on a bit of extra hit points. Conversely, if you don't want to lose out on the hit points, you can take skilled learner or swift learner and balance it out. So time to loot the rest of Doc Mitchell's house. Nothing in there. Ooh, a knife. Good early melee weapon. Some ammo. Empty syringe. Alright, and food. I'm actually going to need food this time, so take the cram. Take these because they don't weigh much. Sugar bombs, sure. I'm basically going to... I need to get in the habit of doing this, actually looking for like food and water items, because I normally don't. So, ooh, a wasteland. Oh, wow. That's a really good thing early on. Like, legitimate. That is so good for someone doing a hardcore run. So, there's that. There's this. Caps. Take all his caps. He left a bunch of caps lying here, and they are my caps now.
Here, these are yours. It was all you had on you when you was brought in.
Are you sure? Because I feel like I also had a couple grand in caps just kind of kicking them around in my pocket. Also a rocket launcher, also a mini nuke launcher, also the deed to your house. I don't know if you happen to have any of those things, do you?
They call it a Pip-Boy. I grew up in... I think...
I never really understood, like, why they give you a Pip-Boy in this one. I mean, I understand it was a lot easier than having to redesign the interface. From gameplay perspective, I guess, or design perspective, I understand it. But story-wise, it doesn't really make much sense, because under lore, you can't really take them off once they're on. Thanks for patching me up, Doc. Sure, it was a... I do appreciate that, and hardcore mode is going to get turned on right now. So can I actually... I can use my Pip-Boy now. So, I need to go back to this. Here we go. So, as we can see, this time we have additional stats, and that more than I would normally have. Water, food, and sleep. And makes for kind of a weird juxtaposition to me, because it's one of the few times I can think of in gaming history where something with a positive effect is bad for you. And something with a negative effect is actually good. So that's good. That's a starting bit. Looks like you just start out generally with some thirst, hunger, and sleep deprivation. Or tiredness, I guess it would be called. Not sleep deprivation. Don't start out with any rads. Alright. One thing I also want to note. I have all the DLC installed. If I beat the main game, I might look into some of the DLC, doing like Old World Blues and Dead Money and all that. However, one thing I do want to note that I got rid of was Courier Stash. For two reasons. One, Courier Stash gives you a bunch of, I would say, stuff that's, a bit too good, a bit too early. Like you start out with, a shotgun, a grenade launcher, machete, some decent, leather armor. Actually better than the regular leather armor. So, it makes it, to me, it seems a bit cheap. But the one big reason I don't have it installed is because one of the items you get from it is a Vault 13 canteen, or maybe it's a Vault 21 canteen. I don't remember. It's a Vault canteen that every couple of minutes you take a drink from it, and it takes down your water or your thirst by like 50. So in other words, if you fast travel somewhere and gain a ton of thirst, if you just wait for like 10 minutes in game or 12 minutes in game or something like that, you can recover all of that thirst loss, which makes this vastly too easy, I think. That wouldn't be anywhere near as much of a challenge to keep everything up where it needs to be. So yes, my basic plan for this run, I don't necessarily have everything mapped out, but I know the game very well. I know where everything is, I know what order to do the quest in. I have played this game many, many times. Hopefully this will be enough to make it kind of fresh again for me, give me a little bit of a challenge, a little bit of a... Make me play the game a bit differently, and examine, the stupid decisions I make that have frequently led to me getting killed. Real quick, a couple of things I gotta do to get set for this. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into this guy's house. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna steal this guy's pilot light. I'm sure he won't need it. Ah, ramen steak. Useful for stuff. He has water in his refrigerator, so we're taking that. Ah, here we go. This is another thing worth coming here for. The Sunset Sarsaparilla Star Bottle Cap. Well, I say it's worth it. It's only really worth it if you're planning to do the one for the Sunset Sarsaparilla, getting all the bottle caps one, which you need like 50 of those. I don't think I've ever actually completed that one. I've come close a few times, but it requires going and like finding bottle caps in weird places and buying them off of people, and I just have never had the interest in doing that. What in the world? Okay, so the other reason to come in here, bunch of pre-war money behind this guy's cabinet. So, it's considered stealing, but I'm generally going to be ignoring that rule as we go forward. Stealing to me is just going to be... because basically everything in the wasteland is stealing anyway, so as far as I'm concerned, this is not stealing, it is scavenging. Anyway, now that that's done, we are going to just kind of go through the game properly. So we'll start by going to Sunny Smiles and see if she has any quests for us. Hello, Sunny Smiles.
Cheyenne, stay. Yeah,
Oop.
I guess.
Oh, okay. That was the first one anyway. Okay. Well, in that case, why don't you go on out? I will meet you out in a second. I have to go to the bathroom first. If I go to the bathroom, I mean I'm going to take this magazine. I'm also going to take this pool cue. Because as far as melee weapons go, it's a decent early game melee weapon. Because as you can see, I have a knife right now, which is damage 9. And the pool cue, once it goes back, is damage 11. It doesn't have as good of a swing speed as a knife, but it does more base damage. So, worth it for me anyway. Because like I said, I'm going to be probably primarily a melee build in this one. We'll see what happens. The other thing, and this might tell you what kind of a run this is going to be. I really hope this works because I'm not save scumming. Please kill him in one hit. It didn't kill him in one hit. Nope, no, come back. Tell me I don't lose Goodsprings karma for that. Please tell me I don't lose Goodsprings karma for that. Doesn't look like I do. So I'm gonna say this guy was a bad person, and that by killing him, I have helped Goodsprings. I am a paragon of good people. And now, as a result, I'm going to reward myself by taking everything in this building. This is actually why I killed him, by the way, because, well, not necessarily for that stuff. More for this stuff back here. I wanted all of this, and he would have seen me if I just tried to take it. Also, I kind of needed to get an idea for how much damage my sneak attack would do, and now I know. Answer, not enough to get away with sneak attack killing everybody. On normal mode, it would have been. So, I either need to put more points into my melee weapons, or I need to get better melee weapons just in general. Maybe also investing some into sneak attack criticals, the perks, would be a good, wise investment as well. Did I take the stuff in this? I think I did, yeah. Okay. I'm a bit scatterbrained, so if I go back to search something I've already searched, please forgive me. Now, I'm really hoping Goodsprings isn't mad at me. I'm assuming they won't be, and the reason I'm assuming that is because I didn't see something flash up that says, Goodsprings now vilifies you. So this might be before reputation meters are introduced. Some dirty water. Yep, all this stuff is going to be vastly more important. As is, managing my weight capacity, because I'm realizing now that as I'm picking up this stuff, I'm going to need to be a lot more mindful of that, because ammo has weight now. So I'm going to need to very carefully pick and choose what ammo I'm carrying and which ones I'm not. Lock has been disengaged, okay. So 20 gauge rounds, bottle cap, jet, psycho, radix, shotgun, sunset sarsaparilla, all stuff that will be useful to me. I don't think if there's anything else in here I need. I don't believe there is, so we're just going to go out. Actually, almost forgot this stuff. The stuff right next to me. 6 sunset sarsaparillas. That reminds me, I actually won't be able to, because normally the first thing I do in these games when I take damage is I just spam sunset sarsaparilla rather than the stim packs. And I wait on using the stim packs until much, much later. Now I can't really do either of those things. One, because Stimpack spamming is not as effective in hardcore mode. You can also get Stimpack sickness from it, so that's not great. The other thing is Sunset Sarsaparilla carries with it Thirst. I mean, it's only a +5 H2O loss, which can be gotten rid of pretty quickly, especially once I start finding more water sources throughout the game. But still, there goes that tumbleweed. One last thing I'm going to do before I go to Sunny Smiles. There's one little area I want to get into. I think most people actually forget about it too. This little door right here leads into a back area of the Prospector Saloon. And you want to come back here because there's a bunch of moonshine in here. And moonshine is valuable. 20 for weight 1. Or 20 value for 1 weight. There's also a couple of fishing batteries back here which sell pretty well. So, yeah, for scavenging purposes, that'll work really well. Anyway,
See the sarsaparilla bottles on the fence?
you're gonna give me a varmint rifle.
Take this and try to hit all of them.
So let's try doing this with the Xbox controller for the first time, because I've done it with mouse and keyboard. I've done it with PS3. Haven't really done it with Xbox controller before. I'm assuming it's going to be roughly similar to PS3, other than different buttons.
Nice shot.
And there,
Well,
I
that's
got
a
2 at
start.
once.
But I don't reckon you came to
I'm
me to
awesome
learn
at
to fight
Xbox.
sarsaparilla bottles. Tell you what,
Okay, time to go kill some geckos. Sounds good.
the ridge behind me there.
All right,
We got
so
some geckos
time to
up
go
there,
kill
huh?
some geckos.
Bunch of little monsters is what they are.
This is going to kind of set forward the general philosophy I'm going to have for dealing with stuff in this game. And that is, stay as far back as I can, and try to just snipe things at first.
Go give them hell.
And hold on, because I just realized I need to set some things up. So, my knife, since it's my melee weapon, is going to go, I'm going to hotkey it to the left side, and my varmint rifle, I'm going to get hotkeyed to the right. And since I don't have anything for the bottom one, I think I'm just going to do the 9mm pistol or submachine gun. Let's go submachine gun on the bottom. That'll be a bit better, I think. So, we have knife, rifle, submachine gun, and then back to rifle again. Good. Now, where are you geckos? I know you're chilling right over there. I think that might be you. Ah, I saw movement. I saw movement. Okay. There you are, you little fuckstick. Just go. Fuck. Shit. Damn it. Okay, one down. Good. He's gonna go check on his friend. Afraid your friend's kind of dead. But you can ravage his corpse and eat whatever you want before I get there, because I don't take the meat anyway. Let's move a bit forward, see if I can't get this guy. Oops, you moved! I hate it when they do that. And down he goes. So that took me more shots than I'm proud to admit. In the meantime, though, this water is rads free. So we're going to drink it. And hopefully, once we're done... Scoozy? Nope, no waiting, no waiting. And this is how I plan to bullshit my way through it, because my H2O is now 0. I drank till I was freaking overflowing with water, and now I don't have to worry about water for a while. So in general, this is how I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to have some purified water and stuff with me, and probably some dirty water as well. But for the most part, anytime I find a water source, I'm just going to drink till my water's at 0. Call it cheap if you will, but that's what you have to do when you're on hardcore mode sometimes. That and sleeping a fair amount. I'm going to be sleeping whenever I can. I'll also need to figure out if sleeping completely heals your HP, or if it's, you know, if it's gradual this time. So I'm not sure.
See? You're getting the hang. There's 2 more.
Okay, I'll go with
Shouldn't take
you.
more than a couple.
And by that I mean I'm basically going to go and help this woman who's in trouble. Now I think the woman should be right down here. And then I can just go and help her out with these geckos. Wow, those geckos seem to like you a lot. See, was that so hard?
Hey there.
You just need to get yourself a good gun, like this one.
Holy moly.
Now give me your water. Now where'd Sunny Smiles get off to? Is she still killing those other geckos? I think she might be off doing that still. You know what? I'll wait for her to come to me. I will just chill right here, because she'll run this way eventually. Uh-oh. Oh, don't tell me it happened again. Oh shit, that does happen occasionally. Where's Cheyenne? Cock! Okay, I don't really give a shit about any of the rest of the people in this town. If Cheyenne died, I will feel really, really bad.
Confound it, Cheyenne.
Fuck!
Why'd you have to go running in like that? You were
I hate it when that
stay.
happens. See, I've talked to a lot of people who said they've never had Cheyenne die on them, but every time I go down to help that woman by the other well, Cheyenne dies. Even if I've killed the other geckos. It's weird. Well, god damn it, Cheyenne's dead. The only character I cared about in this entire town. The dog. Alright, so. Sunny Smiles just told us we need to go and find a Xander root and a Brock flower. And she said that there's one by the schoolyard, and there are Xander roots by the schoolyard, Brock flower up by the graveyard. You could go all the way up there. And admittedly, I'm going to go up there later. Because there's stuff up there I want to get. There's stuff in the schoolyard I want to get, or schoolhouse I want to get. There's stuff at the graveyard I want to get. But I'm not going to go up there right now. And the reason for that is, it's kind of out of my way. So this is where we need to meet Sunny. And if you just go up this hill right up here, you'll find all the stuff you need. I mean, admittedly, there will be a couple geckos up here, but they don't normally attack you, so it should be alright. So I'm going to take Xander root. I'm actually going to take as many as I can carry. The Brock flower, meanwhile, it's up a little bit further, and as you can see, there's a gecko right there, but he doesn't normally attack. If you just kind of strafe like this, pick the Brock flower and leave, he'll leave you alone. So yeah, that was all we had to do to get the stuff for the Sunny. Otherwise, I would have had to run all the way back up there to both the schoolyard and the graveyard, and then run back. So this is much simple. Oh, I need to talk to you first, do I? Right, I guess I'll do that then.
Yeah, these are...
Alright, healing powder, yep. Let's, oh, I need to press X
Hey, that's not
rather
bad,
than A.
all it takes to make a... Sometimes it won't...
Yep, so now she's going to go back and drink her sorrows away, and I feel really freaking... If I were save scumming, I might reload a save just to save Cheyenne, but I promised I wouldn't save scum, so I'm not going to do that. Because save scumming would make these kind of things, basically... Yeah, save scumming would make a challenge run pretty much pointless as far as I'm concerned, because then you can just keep reloading whenever you fuck up. So a general rule I'm going to be operating by is, if I fuck up, that fuck up is going to stand. Alright, so I'm at the schoolyard, and there are mantises here. even on hard mode, they shouldn't pose too much of a challenge because I have an 8 strength and a knife. They also don't have a lot of HP. And as Sunny Smile said, there are Xander roots here, so we'll take them. I'm actually going to be stockpiling these, because even though I'm not planning to make any more healing powder, interesting little side note, the ingredients for healing powder, if you add in an empty syringe and have a science of, I think, 75, you can make stim packs. So I generally keep stockpiling those even after this initial bit, just so I have, when I actually do get up to science 75, I can make a bunch of stim packs with all these Xander roots and Brock flowers that I found. Just a little bit of an extra thing I do to make life a little easier for me. Okay. Now I could pick the safe, or I could activate the terminal and hack it. Honestly, the lockpicking minigame is much less annoying, so I'm going to do that instead. And there's a bunch of stuff in here. Most importantly in here, by the way, is a stealth boy. A stealth boy, which you might... Oh! Leveled up from that. You normally don't level up till after you go back to talk to Trudy, but apparently I leveled up a bit. Especially because I have skilled, so I'm taking a 10% experience negative. Maybe it's just all the crap I've been doing, I don't know. Alright. So first priority, melee weapons does need to go up. That's a thing that I'm going to be using a fair amount of. Guns is already kind of... Actually, I'm going to get that up a bit too. The other thing is... What was it I'm going to get? Lockpick. I'm going to need to get lockpick up to at least average fairly quickly. And admittedly, I should have probably just dumped all my points into that. But this way it'll work better, I think. So I'm going to take Black Widow, as I said earlier. And the reason I'm taking that is for the 10% damage bonus against male opponents. Also, there's a particular use of Black Widow in dialogue. Oh, whoa. I didn't want to do that. Yeah, I'm going to be using it in dialogue a few times. One use in particular that we'll get to, well, we might get to later if I get that far. If I die before then I guess we won't get to see what that use was. So, back up to Goodsprings. Open this gate, just to let in all the stray animals. And now, we're going to head up to the cemetery real quick. Now that we're at the cemetery, we can kind of grab some of the things that I wanted to get. First, I have to take care of the cazadors that are up, or bloatflies that are up here. Not cazadors. If they're cazadors, I wouldn't be coming anywhere near here. Oh, come on. Oh, fuck you. Okay. Come on, stop moving. This is really annoying. Damn it! Why can't I hit anything? Fuck. There we go. You know what? Screw this. Let's make life easier on myself. Ah! Dead. And there was a Brock flower we were supposed to get from there. Wait, what? What? That quest was supposed to have been completed already. Why did I just get a thing saying bring the Brock flower and the Xander root back to Sunny Smiles? I already gave her that. Ugh, never mind. So, 2 reasons we came up here for. First was a snow globe, because we can give that to Mr. House later in exchange for 2,000 caps. The other reason, and as we can see our grave that we were buried in earlier, but the other main reason is if we look, I think it's right around here. Maybe slightly over here. Actually, no, I remember it's right by the tree. Yes. There's distinctive cigarette butts. We don't need all of them, but I'm going to take a few. Because those are one of the items you'll need later on to convince the tops that Benny has turned against them. And that'll be really useful in getting him out. Well, there's a couple other things we can do to get him ousted. But once we do get him ousted and show the stuff to I can't remember what Benny's right-hand man his name is. Oh, Swank. Right, once we show him to Swank, and Swank takes over at the tops, we'll have a bit more cred there. Uh-oh. No one saw me steal that, right? Good. So real quick, before I go back to talk to Trudy, we're going to go in here and talk to Chet, the owner of the general store. Because we're going to buy some stuff from him. We're going to need a few things going forward here that he's selling. Ah, here we go. We can sell all of Trudy's moonshine to Chet. Well, we can sell all of Trudy's alcohol to Chet, and she'll be none the wiser. Right, so if Trudy comes over here and asks about any of her missing liquor, you never saw it, but you happen to get in a big shipment of liquor from one of your other suppliers recently that just happens to look like the stuff Trudy lost. So, we'll take the caps off of him, and now I need to buy a few things off of you. One thing in particular I need to buy, that Chet always seems to have, is a Gunrunner's Arsenal plasma pistol, which admittedly he'll probably only have it if you have Gunrunner's Arsenal installed, but if you do, the Gunrunner's Arsenal plasma pistol, starting out at max damage, even with my slightly lower energy weapons, or lower than they would normally be, I guess, energy weapons, it still does damage 20. Additionally, he does almost always have the plasma pistol high energy ionizer, although not on this occasion, so I guess I'm just going to have to look for that. But yeah, if you can get the plasma pistol high energy ionizer and combine it with the plasma pistol, it is a really, really good weapon early on. So I'm actually going to buy that off of him.
Give me a shout if you need anything else.
Alright, that should be good. And what's my current weight at with all that done? Current weight is 75 out of 230. Equip the rawhide cowboy hat while I'm here to give me an extra +1 to perception. Alright. So I feel like we're in a decent spot for now. We have a fair amount of ammo for our rifle and our pistol, as well as our plasma pistol. So that'll start us off quite nicely. Alright. So in we come to find Trudy arguing with Joe Cobb. And because we don't have the time to listen to this argument, because it's supposed to be a set piece, we're just going to talk to him and immediately say goodbye. And he's going to freak out and leave. Then we can just talk to Trudy. So this is where you would normally level up to level 2 for your first time. Obviously, since I've been doing a bunch of extra stuff and picking a lot of extra locks, and, well, killing a guy that I wasn't really supposed to, although weirdly enough it didn't give me any negative reputation for it, I leveled up a bit early. So, now we can see what she has for sale. I don't have anything to sell, but she does occasionally sell stim packs, and I might look into buying a couple stim packs from her. She doesn't. Oh, she does have purified water. I normally wouldn't buy this ever, especially because you can find a bunch, but because I kind of need to stockpile it, on this occasion I'm going to.
Thanks.
Here we go. This is what we actually need to do. Tell her we're trying to track down people. They say where they're going. Yeah. Okay. I can take a look at your broken radio because you can give me caps for doing so. I'm also trying to remember if I need barter or speech to convince you to give me more caps. Oh well, I guess we're just going to have to hope that I have enough barter to do this. Activate. No, radio. Activate radio. Repair of 20. I have way more than that.
Hey.
And Trudy,
Feeling thirsty?
you can now give me all your caps. Barter 20 is enough to do this, so
Not at all. Now,
she will pay me an extra 25 bottle caps if I do that. And that's that. So we're basically done in Goodsprings for now. Other than one last little thing we gotta do. And that's go and talk to our good friend Ringo up here at the gas station.
Who are you? And what do you want with me?
You know, for a woman with a submachine gun on her hip, you're not really paying me the respect I feel I deserve. Yeah, let's be a bit threatening to him. Let him know we're not
Sorry about
fucking
the
around.
gun. You just caught me off guard. We got off to a bad...
No. Never mention Caravan again. I don't want to hear you talk about it. Caravan freaking sucks. What do you want me to do? Go ask around for people? Okay. So, we're going to go do this next time. Ghost Town Gunfight. We're going to be... Actually, I haven't decided if we're going to be doing Ghost Town Gunfight quite yet. We might do that. We might actually... Alternatively, now that I'm thinking about it, we might do something with... Actually, no, what? It's not... No, I'll be doing Ghost Town Gunfight probably next time. Before I go and do that, though, there are a few things I want to do, because given that I've taken skilled, I'm going to be a bit low on experience for the rest of the game. I also want to have as many much experience, as much stuff as possible for the game going forward. So before I do Ghost Town Gunfight and get the Powder Gangers pissed off at me, I'm actually going to go and do the Powder Gangers quests, which is I Fought the Law. What the heck is that? Is that Prim? I didn't know you could see Prim from here. Huh. New things you learn when you play the PC version. So yes, next time we're actually going to go and do I Fought the Law, real quick, before we do anything else. And then we can come back and we can finish up the little thing with Ringo and the powder gangers and Joe Cobb and all that stuff. And we can figure out what way I want to go on that. Because I might actually choose... Is that a tin can? Or a... Okay, I'm freaking out on whether that's a tin can or an explosive thing. Anyway, I'll be figuring out how I'm going to deal with the powder gangers and Ringo and all that good stuff on the next part of this. And we will crack on from there. But for right now, we're going to call it a part. So thanks as always for tuning in, guys. I was Ben, and this was Fallout New Vegas Hardcore Permadeath Run. See you next time, everyone.